We're viewing a video created by the North Reading High School Guidance Department. This video is meant to serve as a tutorial for students and their families. In this video, we will be providing information related to the Common Application. We will review how to set up a Common Application account, and we will review how to match your Common Application account and your Naviance student account. This matching process involves a few tasks that must first be completed in the Common Applications, so we will review those. Any student who is using the Common Application to apply to one or more college must complete this matching process. The matching process allows the student's guidance counselor and any teacher who is submitting a letter of recommendation on his or her behalf to send these documents electronically to the colleges that the student is using the Common Application for. The matching of the accounts, as I said, involves a few tasks that must be completed, and they're a bit tricky, so we hope that this video will be helpful. In the video, I will err on the side of thoroughness, so it might be best for a lot of students to view the video in its entirety, but we do understand that students may start this video and realize they've completed some steps. So if necessary, or if you would like, please feel free to skip ahead at times, etc. I thought I would start the video by noting a couple things. For the processes that we're going to be showing in this video, there are also written instructions. Typically, seniors will receive a copy of these written instructions in the Google folder that is shared with all seniors near the beginning of their senior year. This Google folder contains a variety of resources and helpful documents, so students can always refer back to that. In addition, written instructions are included in a few places within a student's Naviance account. Let me show you those now. I'm going to minimize our recorder here and go into a demo Naviance student account. And I just want to note that if a student, upon entering their account, and they would enter a homepage that looks something like this. If a student scrolls to the bottom, they can always access what's called the document resources. Here, students can download a variety of helpful documents, including written instructions on such things as matching your account, and also the pages section of Naviance Student. If the student clicks on View All for My School, they'll see a variety of pages in this section, and these are pages that the guidance department has completed. They include written instructions on certain tasks that a student has to complete. They also often include links to video tutorials like this one. So just wanted to point out those couple of things to start in case somebody does want to use written instructions to go through the steps we're going to be demonstrating today. So let's actually look at the Common Application website. Students access the Common Application, which, as noted here at the time of this recording, is accepted by more than 750 colleges. So it can be a really useful tool when applying to college. You access the website by going to commonapp.org. And if a student is visiting here for the first time and needs to create an account, they would go ahead and click on the Apply Now button. They would come to the sign-in screen. Obviously, if a student already has an account, they can sign in. But if they need to create an account, they would simply click on the Create an Account link. Next, the student would be asked to indicate that they are a student, and that's why they're creating an account. And they would want to hit Continue. Here, the student would come up with a username and password, essentially. The username is going to be an email address. I would suggest that the student use one of their email addresses and that they use one that they check at least periodically, because they may receive emails either from Common App or from colleges that they eventually have listed on their Common App. And sometimes the emails can be important. So you definitely want it to be an account you would check. And then you get to create your own password too. You need to use the criteria outlined here to create that password. And as always, definitely note these somewhere because it's going to be important. You will be signing into your account fairly often as you work on your Common application. So after creating the login credentials, students kind of just include some very basic information. So we've gone through our registration type. We're a student. We've included our login credentials, and then there's some basic registration information. So just a name, address, phone number, date of birth, some terms and agreements that a student would complete. You will be applying as a first-year student, transfer students only for someone currently or enrolled in college or who has completed college credits. So for our sake, we'd be talking about a first-year student. And then you would go ahead and create your account. Once your account has been created, you would be able to enter your actual Common Application account. So just a couple notes on operating within your Common Application account. You'll see that there are tabs across the top here. We don't have any colleges in our list yet, so we don't have a dashboard view of sort of college information, but that's what this tab would provide. My Colleges is eventually going to contain the colleges that you are applying to for which you are using the Common Application. The Common App tab itself is where you will complete the application and the different sections of it. College search is where we look up a college and prepare to send it to the My Colleges tab so that it's included there. And financial aid resources is a bit self-explanatory. A student can click on there to learn more about different financial aid resources. So the first thing we want to do once we've created an account is to go ahead and add a college to the My Colleges tab. This will allow us to complete some other steps. You need sort of one school in there at least to work with and complete these tasks. So a student can really pick any school that they know they're going to apply to. I'm going to go to college search. So let's use UMass Lowell as our example. And I will note that when searching, the search program can be a little finicky. I'm going to simply enter the term Lowell and search. And here it is. We get University of Massachusetts at Lowell. So now that this is here, I could access information from that the Common Application collects on the school. But right now, I'm just going to click in the box next to the school and go ahead and hit add. So now the college has been added to the My Colleges list over here. But I'm actually going to hit search again for a moment just because I want to add a second example. If you are just going through sort of the setup process in account matching, you'll only need to add one school at first. But for the sake of this video, I want to add a second to show students something later in the video. So same thing, I'm going to click next to Boston College, and I am going to hit add. So now when I go over to the My Colleges section, I do have my two schools that I've added so far listed here on the left. So notice I have Boston College, and then if I wanted to open up the information on UMass Lowell, I'd simply click on that. Boston College information gets minimized, and University of Massachusetts Lowell information is listed here. So one of the other steps that we need to take care of exists in this area called recommenders and FERPA. We have to complete what is called the FERPA Release Authorization. And this is just a one-time step that we need to complete. And as we will see, when we complete it, we will it will show as complete for each of our colleges. So, if I can click on this link here for UMass Lowell, recommenders in FERPA and complete the process, it will show it once completed. It will show it as completed with Boston College also. If we try to do this now, it's going to tell us that we need to add our current or most recent school in the education section of the Common App. So this is kind of an easy step. Let's go ahead and take care of it. So I'm going to go into the Common App section of the account. And just a couple of notes here. It has pre-filled in some information because because when I registered, I included this information. And then here on the left, you're going to see each section of the Common Application. So profile, family, education, testing, activities, and writing. I'm going to go ahead. If you remember, it said we had to complete something in the education section. So I'm going to click on that. And here we just need to list North Reading High School as our current school. So I'm going to, look at this window, and because we've entered our address, the program kind of lists local schools that we might attend. And for our sake, we're going to go ahead and select North Reading High School and hit continue. So now we have North Reading High School listed. Now, there is more to complete in this section, but you don't have to complete it at this time. You could come back to it. And that's really true of the entire Common Application. You can certainly complete it in sections and save it. Just to give you an example, again, education section, we've listed our most recent school. It asks us a bunch of other questions. And each section kind of contains what I'll call a subsection. Like, did I go to any other high schools? Do I have any college credits? That might be more for a transfer student, but so you can see this student will just work their way through. They'll keep hitting continue and work their way through the different subsections also. Anything with a red asterisk must be completed. So the nice thing is the program will sort of, if you haven't completed a section that has to be completed, it won't let you submit it anyways. So now that we've completed that one step in the education section, I'm going to go back over to my colleges, and we're going to enter the recommenders and FERPA section. Now, when you do this, you will not see a green check mark here at this time. In this demonstration account, I've already completed this process. I'll still be able to show it to you, but it's showing as completed because I've already sort of gone forward and have done it. But I'm going to click on Recommenders in FERPA, and here is that section that we need to complete. It's called the FERPA Release Authorization. So you would click on the link here to complete it. It might be slightly different than the link that's showing. Again, it's already been completed in this account. So we're going to click on Release Authorization. So here's the part that the student has to complete. They want to review all the information on this page. FERPA is the federal law that oversees student records. So they do provide a good amount of information here on the law. And the student simply has to click that they have fully read and understood this information and hit continue. Here they have to check that they authorize that their high school or high schools are able to submit the documents that they need to the colleges they're applying to. So every student would check that off. And then the students make a choice. It says, please select one. I waive my right to review all recommendations, or I do not waive my right to review all recommendations. Again, you can review the information on the previous page and go ahead and make your selection. If this is still confusing for any student, we encourage them to certainly talk it over with their guidance counselor, and we can provide more detailed information. But once they've made that decision, the student does also have to just check off that they understand that they can't change their mind essentially, or their choice, once they've completed this part of the process. They would sign the page by typing in their name and including the date, and they would hit save. Now, when they come back into the My Colleges section, like this account, they would have the check mark for recommenders in FERPA. And they can go ahead and match their accounts now. That was sort of the step that a student has to take so that they can match their accounts. So the final step to match accounts, though, actually occurs over on the Naviance side of things. So just as a reminder, students can access their Naviance student accounts. If it's easiest, they can go to the North Reading High School website, click on the guidance conversation bubbles here. And we're going to see that on the left side of the guidance page, there is a link for Naviance student. It says formerly Family Connection because that is a name change that Naviance is using. They're changing the Family Connection program to Naviance student, which is essentially just the family and students way of accessing Naviance itself. So if a student logs in, we'll just show you the login page. They will have created a username and password for Naviance student. There will be an email and a password that they created. And obviously, like all websites, if you forget your password, you can use the forgot password feature and have a new temporary password emailed to you. But once logged in, the student would come to the home page of Naviance student. And to complete this process, the matching of accounts, they're going to go to colleges. Colleges I'm applying to. Now, this account, we're making this video at a time where Naviance is doing some maintenance to get ready for the new common application. So typically what a student would see in the colleges I'm applying to area, what the student would actually see before they match their accounts is something like what is seen here. This large pink area would say it looks like you are not currently able to apply to Common App schools. That's basically because they want you to again match your Common Application and Naviance student accounts. So you would simply click the Match Accounts button, and the student would only need to include the email address that they used when they created their Common Application account. So it's the email address that the student used as their quote unquote username for Common Application. That could be the same email address that they use for their Naviance account, but it might not be. And that's okay. You just want to make sure that when you enter the email address, it's the Common Application one. The student's date of birth will likely be listed too. The program pulls it right from the date of birth that's listed for them in Naviance. And the student can just double check that or enter it if they need to, but just double check that it's correct and simply hit the button to match the accounts. And if you have success, it will tell you. If there's something wrong, it will also tell you. If the student runs into continued problems with matching the accounts, they can just reach out to their guidance counselor and we'll certainly try and assist them. But once those accounts are matched, the student will have a message that like this that shows that it has been matched, and then the teachers and guidance counselors sending documents on behalf of the student will be able to send those things electronically to the any Common App schools that the student's applying to. I want to use the end part of this video to just share a few other tips. While we're sort of looking at the Naviance student account, let me mention that when a student's applying to a school that does not use the Common Application, it is very likely that guidance counselors and teachers will still be able to send information for the student electronically because there is another system called Parchment that many non-Common Application schools use. There is a whole bunch of schools that use either their own application or the Common Application. And in those cases, when the student's requesting that a transcript go to the school, they'll indicate which type of application they are going to use. And there will be a tutorial video on requesting transcripts that students can view, and there's also going to be written instructions that students can review. So just going back over to the Common Application website, just a couple other helpful hints. I'll show you a view of the dashboard now that we have a couple of schools in here. So we have 2 schools, and this is before the Common Application has reset for the year. So there is some data missing, but that will be there soon. The Common Application resets each year on August 1st. So you start seeing deadlines and things like that populated here. Did want to show you in the My Colleges list, you can get a lot of information when you have your school open on a particular school. Here they actually do have the deadlines. Right now they're, I guess, last year's deadlines, but they're there, what they require, etc. So there's a lot of good information right here. I also want to note that there's a help section. So there's what I will call smart help. Depending on what section of the app you're looking at, there'll be some frequently asked questions here that students can access the answers to. You can also always just click on instructions and help in general, and you can ask questions, including you have the ability to send emails and things like that to the Common Application for assistance if needed. The actual Common Application part, you can preview what you've completed. You can view video tutorials right from within the account. So that's really helpful. In the college search section, you can always view what's called the application requirements. I think this is a really helpful tool. You can certainly download this, but you can also look up your school, if there's a particular school you're using the Common Application for, and get a good sense of what the different using Adelphi University as an example, we can see that they are a co-ed institution, that they have an early action deadline. They list their regular decision or rolling deadline. They even list the application fee. PE means that they require the personal essay, what is often referred to as the Common Application essay. Most schools do require that. And you can even come through and see, like, yes, they do require either the SAT without essay or the ACT without essay, so you wouldn't need to submit the essay portion of those exams. By the way, the A stands for always require tests. We can see other things like, do they require a teacher evaluation, etc. So you can kind of get one-stop shopping to look at the requirements of the college university. As many students know, we always recommend that they also check the actual college's website to make sure sort of nothing got lost in translation when trying to learn the requirements for that school. So wanted to point out that. Going back over to My Colleges, just want to show you, so we have Boston College opened up right now, and want to show you that, every college is going to have its own set of questions that a student must answer. So these are not questions that are on the Common Application per se, but questions that the college or university is asking the students to reply to. These are questions that are institution specific. So it might be, going to probably list their specific major so the student can pick that. It might ask questions about housing, etc. Things that, specific questions that aren't going to be included on the general Common App because it's used by, 750 plus schools. So students will always answer that for each, those questions for each individual school. Now, schools that have what they call a writing supplement are going to list that information here. So BC does require a writing supplement. It usually means an essay or at least short answer questions in addition to the essay on the actual Common Application. So you can see the prompts here, and a student would be able to include their supplemental essay here. Now, if we look at UMass Lowell, they don't have a writing supplement. So here is just their basic questions. And there's no information down here for a writing supplement. So a student would not have to complete that. And then when a student needs to submit their common application to an individual college or university, once they've completed the common application here, and once they've answered the college's own questions here, they'd be able to go ahead and review and submit the common application to that school. So students can submit it, sort of, or must submit it one at a time. Um, in this, the review and submit would have you look at a PDF of the common application and indicate that you are okay with, how everything looks, and then pay any application fee, and then actually submit the common app to that school. So thank you for watching this. Again, we have erred on the side of thoroughness, but we hope you have found it helpful, and consider watching other helpful videos such as how to request a transcript and how to request teacher recommendations using the Naviance student program. Thank you.